Alrighty, we just got back in from our first session. Car felt really good. It definitely picked up on the torque band. Well, not really a torque, yeah, the torque band. And also the high-end RPM was really different than last year. So with the upgraded cone filter in here and also doing the exhaust, I think that really helped. It was definitely noticeable of difference, and especially getting rid of most of the weight in the interior. I didn't have the lap timer on, so I'm going to do that for the next round. It looks like I'm going to have to try and see if I can add more camber. I'm going to put a mark on here with pen or a paint marker to see if we're actually rolling over. If that's the case, then we're going to have to add more camber in the front, which means we'll have to get, because we're maxed on the camber plates up here, so it means we'll have to use Turner Motorsports bottom ends there to try and pull it out. The rear doesn't looks pretty good. Doesn't look like we're slightly rolling over, but not as excessive as the front. So I'll have to work on that. 255s and 275s felt great. No problems there. So I lowered the pressures down to 32 hot. I was running about 37 out there. But I was just getting a feel for the track and everything like that. Fluids look good. Nothing spilt over or anything like that. No engine lights, nothing, so that's golden. So now we'll just continue on throughout the day with more updates on how it's going. There's the setup. Yeah, that clutch is going to be gone by the end of this. Sorry, baby. Definitely need to do a throttle fix and probably tighten up the suspension, to be honest. It is tipping quite a bit, so I might tighten the rear and the front a bit here. Oh no, I lost it. A little bit of ABS. Oversteer there, entry oversteer and ABS kicked in at the same time there. Yeah, tighten the car a bit through these corners here. There we go. That's max, baby, that's max, that's max. Second session ran into a problem. I kept hearing scraping coming from what I thought was the rear end, but it's not, it's actually the front end. And what happened is you can see the gap between the collar here and the actual strut, or the coilover. So that actually dropped down inside the collar, so I'm gonna have to put a metal spacer in there. So that way it doesn't do that again. So let's go take a look at the other side. See on the other side here, we have a lot more of a gap. But even with this gap here, we are still scraping on the top here. So we actually have to increase the ride height on the front so these tires can fit. You can see we are scraping quite a bit inside of here. So hopefully those new rubbers don't get destroyed. But, so yeah. And it's even worse on this side because it actually dropped down. So I'm going to pull it apart, lower it, or raise the car up in height-wise so we don't have this problem. Try and cinch that up a bit more. I'll take it out for another session, see how it goes. If it drops down again, then I'm gonna have to call it a day, and I'm gonna have to get some collars made up. I have some material at home. I did it last time, but I wanted to have adjustability at the track. Turns out it's not a good idea, so I'll put those collars in and that'll be the end of that. So, best braking marker right now, I figured is the 4.5. Going to the 4 beyond, a little too excessive for here. She can't handle that, so, and I just end up scrubbing a lot of speed. Got running too hot in that corner. Back end was sliding out. Trackday is over. All in all, a great day. Good group of people. Can't complain. A couple things I'm going to need to do to the car is figure out the throttle response, because it's really bad. There's a dead pedal every time you try to go for a rev match. And also going to have to do the suspension, the coilover. Put a little spacer in there to stop it from falling down. Engine ran great. Probably the clutch is burnt out completely because of the dead pedal, but tires were absolutely perfect. Might have to do some sway bars. The car wasn't very responsive. I mean, it was, but it's not as quick as I'd like it to be through the transitions. Brakes were actually pretty good. That was actually a real surprise, and the rest of it was actually not bad. So great car, not too bad with all the stuff that we did. Just obviously that suspension thing and then the throttle, and that should be good. I'm going to put air back in the tires for the drive home, and that's about that. Well, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Got any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks guys.